What is going on, everybody? Paul here, coming at you with your Crypto Coffee update, where we start the day by discussing news and upcoming events, all in the wide and ever-growing world of crypto. So, grab a cup and join me now for our simultaneous sip. That is how you start the day, right? Drinking some coffee together. So let's go ahead and get into the first segment of the day, the news. Our first article is out of Crypto Globe, written by Avi Roston. Hope I got your name right, bud. It is John McAfee to stop promoting ICOs after threats from the SEC. John McAfee under threat from the government. Oh no. Let's go ahead and examine a bit further. The tweet here, due to SEC threats, I am no longer working with ICOs, nor am I recommending them. And those doing ICOs can all look forward to arrest. Well, that escalated quickly. It is unjust, but it is reality. I'm writing an article on an equivalent alternative to ICOs which the SEC cannot touch. Please have patience. I'm gonna be earnest with you guys, I don't buy this. Do I think John McAfee has been contacted by the SEC? Well, absolutely. He's been a pump and dump maniac since the bull run of last year. Mid-2017, the guy just jumps into the ICO scene and starts talking about all these projects, clearly which he has no idea about. And inevitably, because of him being such a large figure and involved in technology, these projects pump. However, John McAfee's word is not gospel. Look what he says here. All those doing ICOs can look forward to arrest. How's that going to work, John? Do you think Da Hongfei over in China, the head of the NEO project, you think China's going to let the SEC waltz into Chinese borders and arrest him? I don't think that's the case. In my opinion, a lot of this is just projection on the part of John McAfee because he knows he's been involved in these pump and dumps, and that's just not something the SEC takes lightly. And yeah, please have patience. I mean, for what? Lawyers have been working on the definition of an ICO and what that should look like, and is it a security and is it not, and well, that depends for years now. And to think that John McAfee is going to just type up an article in his cocaine-fueled state and come out with some kind of amazing precedent for ICOs, I just don't see that as realistic. So yeah, let's go ahead and dig into the rest of the article. You can see why John's worried. He was charging $105,000 to promote an ICO. If that's not collusion and conflict of interest, I don't know what is. But it does change gears and talk a little bit about the positives and the fact that Bitcoin and Ether are not deemed to be securities. So that's really good. Just with that information, it seems that John McAfee is off base with those doing ICOs will be arrested, since the SEC largely seems to be seeking out a formalization of the ICO and crypto space. After all, if they could get rid of all the scams, I don't think that this revolutionary digital funding method would be lauded as some kind of horrible, horrible thing by the powers that be. They seem to be pretty accepting of it so long as they can round out the edges. And after all, just to drive the point home as to why McAfee may be a little worried, the McAfee rule of crypto is to run. This is a fantastic write-up on Steemit that I'll drop below in the description that shows that a lot of the coins that McAfee talked about initially after his tweets and his coin of the day, coin of the month thing, they would pump and then they would drop spectacularly. So that's the definition of a pump and dump, John. So dicey stuff. Next article we have is Stocks Fall, Cryptos Jump as Chinese Ministry says the trade war has begun. This is something we've talked about previously on this channel. Tariffs, trade war, and fiat currency, the weapon of the powers that be and governments that they use to basically go to war with each other without having to fire a single shot. Here's a quote from the article. Further action must be taken to encourage China to change its unfair practices, open its markets to U.S. goods, and accept a more balanced trade relation. That's from Trump himself, and he asked the U.S. Trade Representative to identify $200 billion worth of Chinese products for a 10% tax on imports, which looks a lot like a trade war. A little bit more from the article. Ultimately, Trump says he would like to have no tariffs, no barriers. That's the way it should be. You want a free trade zone, essentially, where trade is equal. The United States has around $60 billion worth of deficit in trade to Mexico each year, so it is indeed a little bit unfair. Now, how that is measured is huge. It's unfair if it is indeed $60 billion in deficit, but is that really the case? That's the thing with fiat currencies. With all of these different facets, there's no reliable way to know, especially because money printing is always consistently going on. One thing about cryptos, and why I think this is a very bullish move for crypto, in my opinion, is you have the world's two largest economies going head to head in a trade war, and really their weapons are tariffs, barriers, financial incentives, subsidies, these sorts of things. In crypto, those don't really exist. For most of the top coins, they have a limited supply. Think Bitcoin, 21 million, and things like having all these tariffs and all these various government control components of the economy, that doesn't exist in crypto. So I think this is a very bullish move for crypto, in my opinion. Last article of the day, Bitcoin Cash to be taken offline. What crazy stuff happening by Nathan Bentley. Wow. Big moves here. Apparently Bitcoin Cash is going offline. What could that mean? We've been talking a long time about the BTC BCH debate and what this could mean, who is the real chain, who is the real Bitcoin, that sort of thing. Well, will we be talking about that much longer? Nathan Bentley seems to not think so, and you can see here 10,000 views. It's a big article. Let's go ahead and see what he's talking about. Bitcoin, no, but Bitrex. What? Bitrex. Bitrex is one of the world's leading cryptocurrency exchanges, with the market cap of 36 million. Yes, that's not Bitcoin Cash. What's going on? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I see what's happened. Rebranding and ticker symbol changes for Bitcoin Cash, Legends, and BitSwift. Okay, see, we've talked a lot about really great journalism before on this channel, and how the journalists, like in the previous two articles we've looked at, just do great work bringing the news to me, and I'm able to aggregate it, confirm it, and kind of move through it and give it to you guys. It makes my job really easy, and really, without these fantastic journalists, it would make my job a lot harder having to dig through and corroborate all of this information on my own. So when I see articles like this by Nathan, it just makes me facepalm. Realistically, this is something we've already covered on this channel. BCH versus BTC, the courts are now involved, all the way back in late April. We talked about how Bitrex and Binance listed Bitcoin Cash as BCC, which is the same ticker as BitConnect, which could very much confuse people. And ultimately, imagine wanting to buy Bitcoin Cash. Really, that's what you want, Bitcoin Cash. And you accidentally buy BitConnect. The Ponzi scheme. If anything, that's the naming debacle that could cause the most woe for investors, in my humble opinion. And realistically, article titles like this are not helping the space. This is actually Bitrex circling back to fix a major issue that could mislead investors. Bitcoin Cash is not BCC, it's BCH. That's just where it's labeled on Coinbase and pretty much everywhere else. So having multiple tickers is very confusing. So this is ultimately a good thing for Bitcoin Cash. Here's some information about the actual taking offline of Bitcoin Cash. It's only going to be for about 3 hours on the 20th of June. And Bitrex asks if you're going to be moving your Bitcoin Cash around that time, just simply don't do it. Either do it before or do it after, or move it off of the exchange to a wallet that will be online. Simple as that. And you can see here at the top, obviously there's not a great deal to worry about here, which is really interesting because if Nathan knows that there's not much to worry about, then why would he make the title of the article so sensationalist? Realistically, this is just the same thing we've seen before. 10,000 views, need those sweet clicks, but it makes the entire space look amateur. So a light slap on the wrist, and a shame on you, Nathan. Next time, try to make your article title more accurate as to not mislead users. Yeah, I know, every journalist wants clicks. I mean, if Cryptide had 1 billion followers, that'd be pretty interesting, and probably pretty difficult. But point of the matter being, it's not worth it if you have to mislead your audience. But that's all we have for the news today. Let's go ahead and get into the Crypto Coffee update for June 20th, Wednesday. There's a blockchain and Bitcoin conference going on in Georgia, the country, not the state of Georgia. It's going to be in the Caucasus region. 2018 Crypto Valley Conference is happening in Zug, Switzerland. And the second Blockchain for Finance conference is happening in Singapore. Pivx is having a meetup in New Orleans. And NEO is meeting up in Geneva, Switzerland. That's it for Wednesday, June 20th. For June 21st, Thursday, there's a Coin Agenda Asia Summit happening in Singapore, and the second International Symposium on Cybersecurity is kicking off in Israel. That's it for Thursday, June 21st, and for your Crypto Coffee update. As usual, links below, all in the description for your convenience, along with a big old list of B-list coins. They're not bad projects. Really, there's just far too much to talk about with respect for everybody's time, so check those out. May find something you like, may find something interesting you didn't know about. Your support is infinitely appreciated. We are not monetized, as you may know. We are funded 100% through donations from viewers like you, and we thank you. If you can, just drop us a like on Steemit or DTube. We do get Steam dollars for that, and that would be awesome. We appreciate your support there. But for now, my name is Paul, signing off. Thanks so much for watching. We are Cryptide, and remember, the tide is rising.